Hey Aquarius, what's going on? We are here with a timeless reading. Welcome to the channel. Okay, first two cards we have out. King of Cups. How fitting. And the Star, which represents Aquarius. So what's happening right now? Looks like there's a lot of healing that's happening. I'm seeing Six of Cups, so it feels like this is about stuff that already happened that you're working through. What comes to mind when I'm seeing this is when we connect with the energy within us of the King of Cups, it's about us working through things in a way emotionally, because there are cups here where we're being present to what's going on. We're sort of willing to hold space both for ourselves and for whomever else is involved in our process. It's also about connecting with our feelings, about acknowledging our feelings, about being honest about our feelings, being transparent, really allowing ourselves to be vulnerable to. And to have this Star, this is you like really feeling like yourself in this way. Like, I do feel connected emotionally to myself and what's going on. And the added factor of having it be the King of Cups, it means to us finding equanimity. That's really what the King of Cups is about. So it's like, it's being able to be like present and sort of like finding that grounding space no matter what's going on around you. And that doesn't mean that you're not impacted. It's about being honest about how we're impacted and reflecting on that in a transparent way, in a way that feels authentic to us. And it's also about not being reactive. So it can be like, wow, in this moment I'm feeling so triggered right now, and I'm noting that. So you don't feel like you need to be having like blowing up because of something, or that you're like running away, or that you're avoiding, or being like, oh, not gonna touch that because that just looks like a live wire here. It's sort of about welcoming it in and being like, because I'm connected with my emotions and I'm not scared of them, or even if I guess too, like even if you are intimidated sometimes by the way that you feel, it's about knowing that like no matter what, you can work with it, and that you're able to work with it, and that rather than your emotions running you, that when you're in that space of equanimity, you can really be experiencing anything and feel like you got a handle on it in some way, or at least you're just gonna witness what's happening, you know? But it's not about bypassing. I think sometimes it can be a fine line between like, am I bypassing versus am I really just processing here? Am I just paying attention to what's going on? And to have this Star, this is feeling like Star is connected with a healing energy, and I'm seeing it be connected with like the future. The way that the Star is sort of like looking out at what's to come, it feels like because of the way emotionally that I'm handling things now. And this is King of Cups feels like I feel good about the space that I'm showing up within and how I'm holding space for myself. I do see that you're attached to somebody here. I'm seeing there be like a tether between you and another person, but I'm seeing that even though that's going on, I'm seeing you look very, very grounded. See how this person, it's like they're just in a state of being, being grounded, because that's the energy of the King of Cups. But you see how there's something over here that's like attached to you, like connected, but it's like this person's still looking like straight on, like focused on what they have going on here. And so even though there's that attachment, this person isn't like distracted by that or anything. Like this person really just looks like they're chilling. And so that's how I feel like you are. And then also too, to have the Star connected with it, it's like there's a recognition of like, yes, that's there, and yes, I'm feeling that, and also I'm present and I'm like focused sort of on what's happening and where I'm going. And so this feels very progressive, and it feels like you're moving forward with things presently, that you're not just stuck moving in circles in some type of past situation. This can even feel like a validating moment for you. Like, wow, I'm really showing up like this. And I feel good about it too. These are cards that you'd be like, I can see the progress that I've made, or I can see like really the fruit of my labor emotionally and energetically that I've done. Like I'm doing work, and I'm actually really seeing that it actually legitimately is working. So Okay, facing forward to an opportunity. I'm seeing you looking directly at this thing. You feel drawn in this direction. But there's a lot of mystery around it too. So it's something that you're seeing, and you see a whole lot of potential. You know that you're feeling drawn. I'm getting like, you know when something is warm and we feel like pulled towards it? It's reminding me of how like a lizard will lay on a rock, or like a cat likes a warm spot, you know, or like a dog. It's like when you put your warm laundry on the bed, how they just want to sit on top of it. It's like one of those things. I'm seeing this thing, and it's definitely like connecting with you, like it's resonating with you in some way. So it's not just a door and you're like, oh, there's a door there, and then you're like minding your business, doing whatever. I'm seeing there be something that you feel sort of pulled in the direction of this, but I'm seeing that you don't know sort of exactly what that means yet necessarily. Like you see that there's potential, and more than that, you feel sort of pulled this way. I think you're more curious than anything, is the feeling. To see where this could go, like what it could grow into even. Okay, there are feelings here too. I'm seeing Page of Cups. I do get the sense right now that even though there's just like a little bit that's coming up for you, it feels like it's speaking to you very clearly. I feel too like this is also very aligned sort of with, because you're so present emotionally and energetically, and because you're so in tune right now, that even though it's just a little Page of Cups that's coming up, which can be like a murmuring, even like this very like whisper of emotions where it's like, okay, I see something's kind of happening here, but it's still like really tiny. It's just at like the baby stages. But because of how connected you are right now, I'm seeing it be like very obvious and apparent to you. Because it's like sometimes when we're not connected and a Page of Cups is coming up, we can almost miss it because it's not blaring and it's not in your face. So what I'm seeing here is that something is coming up, and it's only just a little bit emotionally for you, but you're like, okay, like I'm noticing that, I'm seeing that that's happening. So also aligned as well. I do feel there's a sense of a way of responsibility, how you're dealing with things. It's kind of like showing up how you think you should is what it's feeling like. Okay, so this new chapter, I keep seeing King of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. Some of you guys can be dealing with somebody that archetypally you see as a King of Pentacles. I'm seeing Three of Swords. I'm seeing Ace of Coins. What this feels like it's bringing up immediately, especially having seen the Six of Cups on the bottom of the deck, is that you're working through pain, and that's sort of what this chapter is about. And when I say that, that means healing that's happening. I'm seeing this as something that's already happened. This doesn't seem like something that's actively occurring. So this is like that thing that needs to be tended to, where you're like, yeah, there's like some damage there, there's some stuff there. So this whole chapter is, it seems like it's about healing what you're doing here, like that being the whole thing of it. And maybe also you feel like there's a certain amount of healing that needs to be done prior to even starting this chapter. So maybe you almost feel like there's a pre-chapter of healing, and then you get into maybe the more official part of the chapter, is what this seems like. But the intention is knowing. It does feel like a it's like the prologue that you read before you get into the rest of the book. so it's like, you know that you're going to be reading like the main course of the book, right? But there's this thing that's happening beforehand, and I'm seeing it be associated with healing, and that's what I'm seeing you primarily showing up for right now. And I'm seeing you in the best. It's like, out of all of the energies that you need to step into to do this most effectively and most efficiently, you are in that energy. So I'm seeing this definitely be confirmation for you. Like, you're coming with the right energy for this. You're definitely channeling the right stuff that you need to be in. It's going to be most effective in order for you to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish here. I'm seeing something about there being a conversation about this new chapter that's happening. It looks like there's also history that's connected with this too, that may sort of be infused and connected with this in some way. More than anything, it feels like it's being integrated. So rather than anything opposing, it feels like everything's sort of like coming together here. Getting confirmation of this, what I'm seeing too is that once this like prologue part is concluded in the way that it needs to be, and you officially start this chapter, I'm seeing there be like a lot of passion and a lot of movement and a lot of I'm confident moving this way. And so there's a lot of energy that's being put into this, and a lot of concentrated investing. It's like very enthusiastically watering the plants. Very enthusiastically. This is something for you within your personal life. The word pleasure is coming through. It feels like, what is this feeling like? It's feeling kind of second house to me, the way that I'm understanding the energy. It's something that matters to you within your life, where you're like, this is giving me something that I feel good about. I feel good about having this, and because of it impacting your personal life, it can be a home situation, a personal relationship situation, anything that has to do with like your personal or private life is what this is feeling like. I do feel like part of what's being addressed is where because of certain wounds you may not have been showing up for yourself before, and that's what some of this healing is about. And if another person is involved, which some of you I'm seeing there is somebody else involved, you could have felt like maybe by not showing up for yourself, then maybe you didn't show up with another person how you wanted to as well. I'm seeing there also be a very clear acknowledgement that in this new chapter, you are investing in yourself. And seeing sort of what that does for you and what that brings into your life. And it feels like it's the perfect time to be doing this as well. You have to stay optimistic about this, because I'm seeing for some of you, you get like a little bit carried away sometimes with the thoughts, and this is something that needs to be balanced back, because I'm seeing a lot of good stuff that's popping up for you that you're connecting with and like sort of opening your arms to. But seeing this Seven of Swords here can be a little bit problematic, because it can be like you really on like a lucky streak, or like having a winning streak, or just a lot of good things that are happening, and then the Seven of Swords can pop up and be like, just wait, something's gonna happen, you know, or like, should you really be this happy about it, you know? It's that sort of thing where you're in the moment and you're feeling it, and then all of a sudden you have this thought that's coming through that's like, you're not safe, you know, something like this. That's what I'm seeing, but I'm getting that this is just like part of your shadow that's popping up for you, because I'm seeing like things are going really well, things are really good. I'm seeing the Wheel of Fortune next to you too. That's actually sort of like a barrier. So we have Queen of Pentacles, we have Wheel of Fortune, and then we have Seven of Swords. And so I feel like if you can sort of stay in this vibration of the Wheel of Fortune, which is connected with Jupiter, which is actually like safety and protection and you being watched over, and Jupiter is also connected with like the angelic realm and stuff like that. And like your ancestors and whatnot, just you, I'm seeing there be this little like cushion of protection around you. And so the Seven of Swords, which are these thoughts that like these shadow thoughts that try to come through, I'm seeing there be like a bit of a buffer between, so it's like it can't really get to you, so maybe it's not impacting you, but you sort of know that it's there. So that means that they can like pop up in your head and you can be like, okay, I'm hearing that you're there, but you're not doing something with it. Like, you don't need to act on it, you don't need to be holding on to it, you know. So I'm seeing that's what's happening. So I feel too like you're getting more familiar with like what your worries and what your shadow and what your fear sounds like. Especially too because Seven of Swords can be so conniving as well. So when we're dealing with that part of our shadow, the reason why it can be so tricky is that it sort of mixes like lies with truth. And so it's like, well, that is plausible, isn't it? Or like that could be a possibility, you know, and that's how it messes with you. But it comes from a place of fear, and that's what's motivated by it. So when you start noticing that and feel like it's inching closer, the best thing to do is for you to protect yourself with optimism and do things with like practice affirmations, things that allow you to feel safe, to remind yourself that you're safe, and to ground your energy. You just do stuff that like anchors you and stabilizes you. In whatever way that works for you. It's going to be different for each of us, sort of like what our personal needs are. So that's something that can be helpful for you when you're experiencing this sort of thing. And it can come in waves too. But yeah, I'm just seeing that come up to be sort of like an acknowledgement of that happening. Some of you, this happens like specifically within relational stuff, like in your interpersonal relationships, or maybe what's just happening here. Yeah, I do see that sort of like the days of this part of the shadow being over and not feeling good, so things can be allowed to change. The implications of this feel like because you're healing, because you're doing healing work, and because you're showing up for yourself, that these aspects of your shadow that may have reared before within certain situations, it looks like that's closing out and it's going to be transforming into something else. And it seems like this is also happening through conversation or like communication of some sort, is what I'm seeing. And it seems as well, I'm hearing speaker, it seems as well like this is maybe changing also the way that you communicate too. Like something about a mode of operation and communicating, or you like using your voice. And it's in a more open way too. I'm seeing you be opening up. Alright, let me just take a peek at what we have. Yeah, it looks like something specifically went down between you and another person. Like I'm seeing the pain sort of originate within an interpersonal relationship. But I'm seeing there be healing. I'm seeing Ace of Pentacles, which is like there's healing, there's hope for the future, there's a new chapter that we're opening. Wheel of Fortune is like you're gonna feel supported, like cosmically, doing this new chapter. Your guys are saying do not rush into this, do not move too quickly, like do not like lose all of your self-control moving through this. So Ace of Wands is like this opportunity for you to really plant. You know what this is reminding me of? You know, when a tree is first planted or it's first growing and it's just a sapling, you can't be hanging things from it because the whole thing is going to bend and snap and break, like with pretty much any tree, right? You have to wait until it like grows roots and it's more sturdy and stable to be able to hang a tire swing from it. So what I'm understanding here, like what's coming through energetically, is that you have something but it feels like it's just sort of a sapling right now. And so if you start like adding all of this stuff to it, it's going to bend and it's going to break. So you have to sort of move and interact with it according to how it's growing. So when it's just a sapling, you can't be leaning on it so much, you know? You can't be putting all of your weight on it. You have to wait until it gets sturdier in order to do that. But I'm seeing for some of you too, there's this part of you that maybe comes up sometimes. I'm seeing it be this very like Knight of Wands part of yourself, which you can understand as being this maybe more impulsive part of yourself that isn't as mindful sometimes and gets very excited, but then does something like, you know, hangs the tire swing and then you're about to jump on it. So it's about sort of being able to catch yourself when you're there and being like, oh wait, it's not the time to do that, because if I do that, then that's gonna happen and then that's gonna happen and then the whole thing's gonna snap and then I'm not gonna have it anymore, you know? So it's about sort of like playing the tape to the end rather than just doing what's good for you instantly in a moment. It's like, how is what I'm doing now going to affect me later on? But for some of you, you may check out because it's like, but I want to have fun right now. And it's really about being mindful in each moment, because this feels like more of a long-term thing sort of that's being set up. Because, you know, if you had this Ace of Wands and you were like, I want to swing on it right now and I don't care if it breaks because I don't need it for later, then go ahead with it. But it doesn't look like that's the type of thing. This looks like something that you're going to want this to be around for you. So it's about treating it as such and listening to what it needs and not just what you need to, because that can be the thing as well, like behaving very selfishly with something or with a lack of self-awareness, and then not sort of understanding that there's something else on the other end, and that it's a relationship. So just pay attention to that. Because some of you, like the way that your shadow pops up, it may not necessarily be thoughts that you're having all the time. It may be like needing to control your impulses and be mindful of like what you're doing and how that's going to impact things. Yeah, pay attention to your feelings. Some of you too are breaking some maybe like bad habits that you have too, that you're becoming more aware of, like not just doing certain things automatically, or even when you catch yourself doing things, you're actually catching yourself and being like, wow, like what was I just about to do? So I feel like there's a lot of learning all around and like a lot of witnessing too, because being in that space of having this King of Cups here, it's about noticing these things and being in that like mindful, like loving awareness and being like, okay, I see what's happening here. Pay attention to the way that you're feeling. Do not abandon your intuition, because I'm seeing you're getting a lot of intuitive nudges and you're meant to be listening to it, even if sometimes it's annoying because it's not something that you want to hear. Keep paying attention to it, because I'm seeing too, it's like telling you how to invest. It's like giving you the directions of like how to take care of this sapling right now. I want to just clarify something so I can understand. to give a little bit more detail. I do see that you're processing the final closing out of something in the midst of all of this as well. Yeah, there are conversations that are happening. It seems about a cycle that's like closed out, or that is like basically closing out. That's what I'm seeing. And I'm getting a lot about communication and conversations, like being involved in this. Okay, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. Just Aquarius here, the only zodiac. We are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.